Yo, what's going on, people? What is happening, man? It's Arsenal 1, Watford nil, and I think, and I kind of, what's difficult. And by the way, let me say hi to Neomis. What's going on, Neomis?
Hey, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I think it's a great day. Great day. Lots of good games.
Yeah, I think for myself, I'm saying to myself, can I add this thing? Yeah, can I add it? I just want to say the team today did put in a performance, and it was a performance that should have been a lot more generous on the scoreboard, and it wasn't there for obvious reasons. But when I left the stadium, I didn't want to downplay the fact that they played good enough to win the game comfortably. And it didn't happen, and you're going to get games like that. I left the stadium. I think to myself, you know what? A lot of people are probably going to be too harsh today, and some people are going to take this win and rock it out the stratosphere. And already, as soon as I got back, I looked on the forum. I don't need this now. I can kind of take it down. I looked at the forum, and already there was talk of top four football. And I was like, oh my God, these guys couldn't wait to grab the bull by the scruff of grab the bull by the horns and then just run with it. And I was like, oh, guys, remember, this is the eighth game that this team has played together. They're still growing in themselves, and they're still trying to grow within their test. Each week they're testing themselves, and they're playing ugly at times and still bringing home a result. And this marks the wow, what is it now? I think it's the 20. Let me think now. Right, so Arsenal are unbeaten now in their last 27 games where they scored first. So that is 22 wins and 5 draws in their last 27 games when they score first. And the way that they play, you just know they're going to score first. So I think we've had the tests. We've gone away to Burnley, and which is a hard place, and we've got the wins there. We've been down, against Crystal Palace, and we've fought back to draw. Now Liverpool is the true test. But give me your overall thoughts of the game and what you thought about today's performance.
It was a bit of a tough performance. Like you said, like the way how the game went, I don't think like the scoreline justified how the game went. I mean, really, truly, maybe it could have been 3-4 nil, I thought. But I think what Arsenal deserved the win, and it was so important for us to get the win for me. Not really to do with the table, but I'm a stickler in that Watford, and I know your allegiances with Watford, but these are the type of sides that we got to put away. We have to beat. And it was one of those whereby we did what we needed to. And I could kind of understand why some people are looking at top four.
It's crazy.
I still don't see it. Like, for me, it's to do with the Man United factor. I think that's where people are thinking that this Man United thing is going to continue going to the end of the season. I don't. But nevertheless, like West Ham, like brilliant from them. If we could just focus on just qualifying for Europe, whatever European competition that it is, then I think that most people should be happy with that. But it was a good performance from everyone. Smith Rowe, I'm glad he got the goal. Again, Arteta just sticking to what worked best, which is what you want. And that's something that at least I call for. Is just play what works. Don't really deviate unless it's injuries or suspensions, and it's just all coming together. And I'm happy. So I have nothing to complain about. Now it's on to the next game, which will be very interesting.
Yeah, I think just reading here, I've got G saying this was a club whose fans proudly used to boast 1-0 to the Arsenal and take glee from their ability to kill off a 1-0 game. Now, instead of singing 1-0 to the Arsenal, no, we were singing that today inside the stadium. We were singing it. Arsenal just cry and moan. I hope that we get a draw, 0-0 draw at Anfield, and they probably cry that we got 1 goal in 180 foot. Yeah, you know what? We've got the most miserable fans in the league. I did tell Nabil today, if you watched Bertram and Neil last night in the Premier League show, Neil is a Liverpool fan, and he just said it straight. He goes, "You guys are just privileged." He goes, "You are the you complain more than any fans in the," and we do. We've got this platform of social media. You know, when you look at our Twitter followers, 19 million Twitter followers, and Spurs have barely got 5 million. And when you look at that, it's our presence is just the magnitude of it is just huge. And with that comes a lot of opinion and criticism and things like that. And the players have to play in that kind of environment. And I know a lot of people and pundits and everything has said that it is a harsh environment. And I don't apologize for it, because that's just the way, as fans, it's good because we actually get to have a voice. But at the same time, what is frustrating is hearing the negativity when the team's doing bad. And that's fair enough. Some of it is very valid. But when the team's doing good, you're still hearing fans criticizing. Like, what more do you want? I was even here. I remember when we won the FA Cup, and fans was just like, "So it's the FA Cup. So do you think if any of them other clubs, any of them, Chelsea, Man United, look how Man City praise the League Cup. They praise it.
Arsenal fans, and in my opinion, Man United fans are probably the worst, because they remember the days when they were on top. I call it big club arrogance, and Arsenal are probably edging it because of how far they've fallen, and because we don't have a squad like Man United to whereby we even look like we can flirt with challenging for the league. And for me, it all comes down to expectation. Like this divide between what the owners want and what the fans want. There's this massive gulp and divide between the two, whereby it's only really now that the club are kind of coming out and saying, this is our plan, this is what we want to do, and whereby things are kind of coming together. And then the problem is that the old regime, way back from the Highbury days, told fans that we were going to compete going to the Emirates. And there are lots of fans that are just hanging on to that. And I don't want to say let it go, because like I wasn't a season ticket at Highbury, and I'm not still not a season ticket now to say that, oh, they just won't let it go. And I know that sounds a bit bad, but fans are holding on to that and they just won't let it go. And yeah, that's going to cause them to almost never forgive everything that's happened.
That's harsh, man. Because, one of the things I love about being a sports fan is, there's two things that I love most about being a sports fan, and that's winning and cheering your team when they're just not as good as what everybody thinks they are. And when they're going through that transition, that's when they need it. When they're winning and they're on top of the game, it's nice to get the support, but because they've reached the level of ascendancy, and they're that good, support is minimal. But when you're not doing well, the 12th man and your support is everything to them. I mean, over the last month, the players, even today, Maitland Niles getting interviewed, the biggest thing Maitland Niles was talking about was the fans. He said the fans were tremendous inside the stadium. He goes, we could hear them, we fed off them, and all that. That's what it means when you have a team that has been underachieving greatly, and they need you by their side. They need your sword, your shield as fans, and they need to get on the warpath with you and get on that battlefield and have you as the 12th man. And some fans haven't embraced it or don't get it. And it's really hard to see when I had a couple of guys today, something happened in the second half, and they started booing. And me and a couple of guys turned around to them and said, what are you booing for? It's 0-0. It's we're on top. Watford only had 28% possession. No shots on target. Like, we're dominating the game. Just have a little bit of patience. But this is what I'm saying. It's like, you're booing?
The only thing I could say is that maybe fans thought this is going to go like this. It's Watford. Like, we've got to win this, because like I said, this was a game where, for me, you have to beat these type of teams. And then maybe they thought, oh, the game was just going to end up like this. Like, I mean, I saw fans online, even when it was 1-0, like saying, like, still worried and still talking about, we got to score the second goal. If we don't score the second, like, Arteta doesn't know what he's doing. The team don't know what he's doing, like, start insulting the players. And, like, it's only now after the game where, like, people are starting to soften up a bit. But again, I think it's up to channels like this to set expectation, particularly the ones talking about top four. Like, it's great to be happy and all of that, but I hate to be a bit of a Debbie Downer, but we got Liverpool next, and
And hey, and it's fine if we don't win it. It's fine. Yeah,
I don't know. I don't expect to win it. I don't expect to win it.
Yeah, if we get a draw or if we win, I will be over the moon. But if we lose, guys, if we lose, it's okay. We're on our journey. And let me peg everybody back to the fact that it took Jurgen Klopp 4 years for them to win Champions League, 5 years for them to win the title. It took Pep and Man City, remember in that year when he took over, and we played them in the semi-final of the FA Cup and we beat them, we knocked them out. And in the summer, they spent 400 million on defenders. 400 million. They Mendy and Kyle Walker cost them 160 million. Who spends 160 million on two wing backs? Like, nobody does that. So, but that's the level of how these teams are able to bounce back quickly. We can't do that. But the fact is, it took even those teams years to develop. So when I see that these guys have got a 3-year plan, and remember, guys, I'll repeat, 3-year to build a competitive team, year 4 and year 5 to challenge for the Champions League and the title. That's the plan. So when I hear after a couple of years, these fans just going into all this stuff, guys, you need to calm down, man. I know that you're passionate and I know you love the team. I know you want everything, but you want too much too soon, man. Yeah. As I said to Nabil today, under promise, over deliver.
I don't understand how anybody could criticize anything that happened in this game. Like, we won, and I get it. Like, if you look at the overall picture of Arsenal, that there are some things that need to be improved. Fine, but we won. We're doing well. We got a bit of consistency going. Like,
yeah, man.
Arteta's doing what I wanted him to do. So I can't complain. You know,
you remember what I said in my last video when everybody says, "Hey, Apollo, how you doing?" And I'm just like, winning. That's all I'm doing, man. We're winning. That's what we want. As long as we're winning, it's all good. Bobby Borman agrees with you. He said, "I agree with Neil. Miss scoreline does not reflect the full story. 2 goals ruled out, penalty missed, and some great saves by Foster." Yeah, and that is the overall. G says this was a weird kind of game. All the stats suggest a fairly dominant performance. Most of the part of it was we played in fits and starts, and the last 10 minutes had some nervy moments. Actually, I think the last 10 minutes was really enjoyable, and I'll explain why after I read your post. After some nervy moments, attack is a worry, I agree. Uber had a bad day at the office despite working. Remember, the only person who scored more goals than him in all competitions is Mo Salah, and everyone says Salah is the best winger in the world or best attacking player in the world right now. So, you know, we can take like he's not at his best. We can all agree, but he's still got 7 goals this season. So it is what it is. We need to spread the goals around. Yes, that's why I'm talking about Smith Rowe and Saka a lot every week. And he says, I'm very pleased with the win, but a goal in a game isn't going to advance us. We're looking more balanced, and but we've gone from one of the best teams at, and then I don't know what that says after that. He also asked me if I've got the player ratings. Yeah, they are down there now. They must have sent them on when the stream starts. Then you have to add them in, because if you do it beforehand, we won't see all the text. I know it sounds weird, but that's how it works. But G is. But let me do his player ratings first. G has gone Ramsdale 7, Tomiyasu 6.5, White 8, Gabriel 8, Tavares 7. Saka 5, Sambi 7, Niles 8, Smith Rowe 8, Lacazette 6, Aubameyang 5, Odegaard 6, and Arteta 7.5. And now there's no more Arteta out on his thing. It's just all Arteta in. He's got another one here. So this is from Bad Boy Kuda. Tony, where you at, bro? We need your player ratings. Tony says, what's going on? What's up, bro? Bada Boy says, Ramsdale 7, Tomiyasu 6, White 7, Gabriel 8, Tavares 6, Saka 8. He's given Saka an 8. Sambi is 7. Niles gets an 8. Smith Rowe gets an 8. Lacazette is 6.5. That's a nice 6.5 there. Aubameyang gets a 2. Odegaard gets a 6. El Nene 5. Martinelli 5. Randy says we need younger, fresher strikers. Agreed. But the teams are looking. Yeah. And look, guys, the team, if you've not seen Josh Cronke's interview, please, I put it on the forum already earlier on today. Go and watch it. I love what the team's doing. This team is in transition and they couldn't get all their parts, but they got most of their parts. They have 85, 90% of their team built, rebuilt already. After 18 months of Arteta being here, they're able to jettison 21 players and 5 more going in the new year, brought in so much players, and we're liking the team now, and all they need is a striker. So I really like what they're doing at the moment. So Neomis, let's talk about these player ratings. I normally go first, don't I? So I better do that.
Okay.
Ramsdale, I gave a 7. Clever distribution. Watford brought the heavy press today. I was surprised at how much they was filling the box in, and he made the decision to go long more than any time this season. Let's be fair, he didn't face a lot of shots, but he was steady in his performance, and I'm going to give him a 7. Tomiyasu, I've given a 7 as well. Supplied Saka down the right on a consistent basis. It looked more assured. Remember, I've been talking about him a bit hesitant and a bit iffy in possession, not knowing what to do with the ball. And I think he's clearly improved in that regard. He's become more comfortable, and I think it's because he's more accustomed to being around his teammates a little bit more. I think that is the biggest reason for his change today. And against Dennis, like he had Dennis in his back pocket, he tamed him today, and he made 2 tackles inside the box, which could have resulted in penalties, and just looked really assured today. I like it. I like it. We used to call Nacho Monreal Mr. Consistency because he kept getting 7s every single game. This guy, I don't think I've given him a bad grade. I think 6.5 is the lowest I've ever given him. So
that's a fair score.
Yeah, and Tavares' scores are even higher than Tomiyasu. So over the last 3 or 4 games, so this is really good. Ben White, I've given a 7.5. Inventive in possession, and what I mean by that is he seems to know when there's an overpress, he finds the gap and then he's gone. And in the second half, it was almost like at halftime, Claudio Ranieri says, you can't commit too much men forward, because if you do that and we rush 3 and 4, Ben White's going to find a gap and he's going to go. And then all of a sudden, Arsenal are on the break because you've committed 4 men who you've beaten. You've beaten the press. The trap is already done, and Ben White's gone. And that's just opening up a lot of things, and teams are starting to catch up on that now. So I noticed that their midfielders, the space in between them was a far deeper, stopping Ben White from doing that. They're trying to take little things away from Arsenal. So I saw a little bit of that from Mourinho today, but I do like what he's doing. Very influential in Smith Rowe's goal, Ben White today, and he kept Josh King quiet. Gabriel, give him a 7, nearly put Arsenal 1-0 up. Didn't get as tight on his man today. I thought he was a little bit more relaxed. Maybe that's a coaching thing. We talked about how reckless he is, and he's not getting booking these days. So I think we're seeing that develop game on game, showing fewer mistakes now, fewer bookings. So maybe we need to keep an eye on that, Neil. Maybe that's just a part of the transition for the player. But steady game from him today. Tavares, 7.5. Played much higher up on the pitch than Tierney does. Seriously, this guy's a winger. He's a winger. Yeah. This guy, like I said to you 2 weeks ago, if you took me to an Arsenal game and said, Apollo, enjoy this is my favorite team, I want you to enjoy the game, and then at the end of the game you said, oh, that's our left back, I would have went, you what? That's a winger. You ain't telling me I've been playing football for 45 years and telling me that's not a left back. And I love his game, man. I mean, I want to talk about the quality of his crosses. He put in 3 crosses today. There was no Arsenal players committing themselves into the box. This is leading back to the fact that you know, Giroud would have loved a player like that because you're just laying it on the money time after time after time. But our strikers are just not on point. They were off the ball today. When if you know a guy like that is going to commit crosses into the box, you make sure you get on the end of it. But we saw 3 or 4 good quality crosses today, and there was no red shirts in the box. But I have to say that is patience as well because he's trying to hit his man. I just think, look, I've seen him for 4 games now, and I just think he's a better player than Tony. I'm sorry, but I just think he is. I don't know how you bring Tony back into the team. I like Kieran Tony. I'm a big Kieran Tony fan. I like his passion, but I just think he's lacking that polish. And people talk about Tavares as raw. No, not only his defensive capabilities are raw, and today he took Sarr out the game. There was 3 times Sarr was trying to angle him, and he's got such loose hips, Tavares. He turns on a sixpence anytime. He knows how to play the angles. He can get tight on you, knowing that that you're not going to get a step on him, or he can play off you. And he was playing Sarr today in so many different ways and this was the worry. This is what I was saying on the preview. I said, we're going to get to find a little bit more about what Sarr is all about. And with Sarr, he had him in his pocket. And I looked at it and I was like, yeah, this guy is ready for Robinson. He's ready for Gomez. He's ready for Trent Alexander. Let's take it to the next level with Tavares because no, we have to, Neil, because he's already passed the test. He's passed the minimum expectations we have as a defender. He's passed that. Now let's face it, Sarr ain't no lightweight.
No. Listen, right. In terms of like player for player, the thing is, Sarr's strengths are speed and strength, and Tavares can match him on that all day. Next week, let's have this conversation.
Yeah.
I'd be keen to see what they do because the reason why Tavares works well is because he's pushing forward so much. It forces the opposition to somebody has to come drop back to deal with him. So it puts them in a position whereby they have to defend. It's not like it's half-hearted because when he goes forward, he's making an impact. Like he's coming inside or he's going outside. So, but again,
we saw Maitland Niles cover for him today at left back when he slotted in there. We did see that.
That's why when I saw him at left centre back, left centre mid, I was like, okay, they've got him there as a just in case for Sarr. And again, I think that was Arteta's tactics that got that right. So I'd be keen to see what Arteta does against Liverpool. I'd like him to stick with Maitland Niles. I know I'm jumping ahead a bit because I think that exact same formula could work next week. After the break.
So Saka, moving on to the midfield now. Saka, I had to think very hard about this because I'm watching him like a hawk every week now because some people, I know Bertram has got a lot of criticism about him, and over the last 2 or 3 weeks, like a lot of people are jumping on my case because of Saka. But I'm sorry, guys, I have to tell you what I see, and you know, if I don't, I'm lying to you, and I can't lie to you. I got to tell you what I see, and he's just wasteful and he's very indecisive. And when I look at him a year ago, he weren't like that. So something is happening in his game. Maybe it's expectations on a young shoulder. I don't know. And maybe I have to put it down. He's going through this transition because all of this is coaching. That's all it is. They watch film just like me and you guys do. They watch film as well. So he knows he's doing this. And this would be pointed out to him by the coaching staff. And I thought he was much better in the second half, though. I must say, I thought he was a little bit better in the second half. And I thought a lot of times, I mean, he got fouled 4 times by Danny Rose. Danny Rose was getting away with blue murder today. But he had the better of Danny Rose today. But he's still not great in possession, and he's continuing to be a little bit more loose with it, maybe holding on to the ball a little too long. So I think that still a little bit indecisive, but I think he was more lively today. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because today I think was a 5 performance, but I thought he was a bit lively, so I'm going to give him a 6. Maitland Niles, he was my man of the match. I'm going to give him an 8. And I'm not saying that because, you know, Eddie and Maitland Niles are my boys, but just the biggest question when I previewed the game was Thomas Partey is a massive influence on this team, and we'll come to that later on. But he gave us tons of energy. He makes it look so easy, silky smooth, sharp passing, great poise under pressure, never gets rattled, tidy, strong and direct in his play and his tackles, very intelligent, knows what to do with the ball. Hard to get the ball off him as well. But I think for me, the crowd reacted to his display as well. And he got stronger as the game went on. Good recoveries, good challenges, interceptions, tackles. Did a little bit of everything today, but he was a total package. Remember that cheeky pass he played in? He lobbed a little type of Ozil Odegaard ball over 3 defenders, which puts Lacazette into play beyond the line, which broke the line. I thought that was cheeky. Just pure quality performance from him. And it makes you wonder. This guy played himself into the England team, broke up Mahrez, Salah, Mane, Sterling, all that man there, and he doesn't get to start in the Premier League for over a season. So I'm glad he started today. Well done, Arteta. Thanks for playing this guy. And just like you did with Eddie, Nketiah was man of the match a couple of weeks ago in the League Cup. You've played Niles today, and guess what? He was the best player on the pitch. So look, there you have it. Sambi, I'm going to give Sambi a 6 today. Wasn't his strongest game. Still a solid output. I think he got caught in possession a couple of times, and a few times he was bailed out by Niles. Still worked hard, worked the gaps, made it difficult for Watford to play the ball through him, but he mainly gave away a goal today and was bailed out by Ben White. So I think Sambi struggled a little bit. Look, this is what we're trying to see. He's well developed. I think this is the lowest score I've given him this season. So moving on to Smith Rowe, 7.5 for Smith Rowe. My video's already up on YouTube, but you heard my halftime report. I thought it was a little frustrating. I thought his head wasn't in the game for half an hour. He was completely anonymous. Very little involvement from him. And remember, his game is getting the ball and running at the defense. That's his game. His game is causing defenses problems. And when I saw him touch the ball 3 times in the first half and the ball went backward to Ben White, I was like, bro, we need you to go the other way and not passing it, but taking people on, because that's your strength. That's you. That's your name. Yeah. Aaron Ramsey didn't have the ability to really go past players like you do. And you've got that over him. And you weren't doing that. And guess what? In the second half, he just went boom. It was almost like Arteta just slap him up, just like I did. And he came to life. And when he did, he was more direct, more penetration into the box. And it's the penetration that led to his goal. The fact that he was there and adding himself in as an extra striker made all the difference. And it just goes to show you what the forwards aren't doing. Remember, I talked about Tavares putting those 3 quality crosses into the box and there was nobody on the end of them. This is a problem. This is a fundamental problem with our front line. So I think doing what he did, creating those opportunities for himself, and it's not just about him being in the box. I tell you guys all the time, when you're a young midfielder, we see balls being hit directly into the goalkeeper. And it takes you time to learn. You have to place the ball into the corner of the net. How many times have we seen Smith Rowe every week? He gets a chance, and where does the ball go? It goes wide left, wide right. Keeper ain't got a chance to save it because he's putting the ball hard and low or high and wide, and he's not giving the keeper a chance to save it. You look at when Saka gets into that position and that shot he had against Martinez, where Martinez made a save with his legs. There's another one with his hand directly at the goalkeeper, right smack in the center of the goal. So it takes a bit of time to learn things like that. But good performance in the second half by Smith Rowe, not the total package, which reflects in his score. Aubameyang a 4. Look, I know his performance from a goal-scoring standpoint was dreadful, but he still worked hard and constantly ran the change, which is part of his game now. Working hard is just who he is at the moment right now. However, I mean, he couldn't do anything right today. I mean, he missed his 4th penalty in 12 kicks. Time you stop that now. Stop it. Stop it. Don't let him take penalty kicks anymore. Don't do it. Yeah? Yeah, you just don't do it. We all knew. We all said in the stands he's going to go to his left. And I said to the guys, why doesn't he go straight down the middle? What did he do? He went to his left, save. Bro, you just could have gone down the middle and all would have been happy. And look, just take it away from him. Just take it away from him. he didn't need to get involved in Odegaard's shot. There's no way that the ball was going in the net. Yeah, you didn't have to make yourself involved in it. Look, he couldn't do anything right today, and I'm going to give him a 4. Some people have given him a 3 and a 2. It weren't that bad. It was just he weren't clinical today. He was awful in front of goal, and he just messed up. And the one thing I've got to say to you guys is, I've got to say this. I haven't given him a score like that this season. His first game was against Norwich, which I thought he played well in. Against Burnley, when he didn't score, I thought that was one of his best performances as an Arsenal player, creatively working hard and making himself busy instead of disappearing. And that's why I've said to Bertram and quite a few people, actually, we're seeing a different player. Because normally, Bertram is bang on when he says, if he doesn't score, then what else does he do? Well, this season, he's doing a hell of a lot more on the ball and off the ball. Today, he was running down the goalkeeper, pressing the back line, and nobody else was doing it. We weren't pressing today. We were playing Watford. Most of the team probably thought, why are we pressing these guys? That's why the urgency wasn't there. You know, the fast starts we talk about, there wasn't really that much urgency in today, which is why I talked about Lacazette and I talked about Smith Rowe in the first half, how they was a bit disinterested. It's because they weren't as committed. But Aubameyang was. He was the one that was running and closing it down. And when the fans were shouting, "Whoa!" You know, when he's running out of goal, it was only him they were shouting at, because nobody else was pressing and pressuring the back line. So, guys, it was not a 2 and a 3 performance today. Minimum, it was a 4. But he's finished. He was horrible today in front of goal. He couldn't buy a goal today. And Lacazette, I've given him a 6. Drifted to the right wing. I noticed he was really playing on the right, and he didn't affect the game from there. He didn't press as well, but I think he was sharp. He started to get involved when he realized that he wasn't getting involved, and he won the penalty, and that was because of his sharpness, his anticipation. I saw him go down on the floor a lot of times before that penalty. And like he was like 5-6 times he was getting pushed over so easily. But you know, I thought he was decent, and he won the penalty. But it wasn't one of his best performances today. And I'm going to give Arteta a 7.5. I thought the substitution for Odegaard was good. We needed that. And I thought the way he set up the team today, the decision to play Maitland Niles, well done, mate. You're 10 games unbeaten, 8 in the league. Kudos. Respect to that, man. Good performance today. And so that's my ratings, guys. Let me read the guys before I move on. Coxey is there, so let me just come to Tony. First of all, I don't know who this is. Let me see who this is. I don't know whose grades that is, guys. Guys, I don't know whose grades that is, but I'm going to read them out anyway. It's Ramsdale 6, Tomiyasu 7, Ben White 7.5, Gabriel a 7, Tavares 8.5, man of the match. Sambia 6, Niles 7, Smith Rowe 7, Saka 6, Lacazette 6, Aubameyang 5. He says, big up Martinelli. I wonder if that might be Bobby Borman. I might be Bobby. He said, big up Martinelli. Thought he looked sharp when he came on. Tony's calling Ramsdale Raga Ramsdale. The guy loved that rice and peas. And that cooked food, that jerk chicken, oxtail, everything. He's given him an 8. I'm not sure what he's done for an 8, Tony, but he didn't have much to do. I don't think he made a save in the game. But and as I said, I think I gave him respect for the distribution. I think that was very intelligent of him. He went longer today than he has ever done. He's able to read the danger. He can sense that. There was one mistake where him and Ben White got a little bit mixed up, and it could have gone horrible. But goalkeepers are judged on errors leading to goals, so that did not lead to a goal. So until that happens, we move on. So he's given him an 8. Tomiyasu, Ben White get a 7. Gabby an 8. Really, Tony? I thought Ben White was better than Gabby today. Tavares a 7. He's given Niles a 5. Wow, Tony was at the game.
I have a question. When Tony was watching the game, was somebody blocking his view when Niles get the ball?
I have no idea.
So wherever he was in the stadium, they were blocking his view so he couldn't see Niles well. Maybe he thought he had a jersey on. I'm not sure where Tony get that grade from.
He was at the stadium today. He's given Sambi an 8, Saka a 6.5. Okay, that's decent on Saka. Emile an 8.5, Aubameyang a 5, Laka a 7, Odegaard a 3. Odegaard a 3. Bro, I just want to say something. I was actually supposed to talk about it after when I was talking about Arteta, but I'll say it now. Guys, the maturity that, who shall I bring up? I'm going to talk about 3 players here. The maturity that Martinelli, Maitland Niles, and Odegaard showed by running the ball to the corner flag and displaying some cool-headed ball skills and poise to run the 6-minute clock out at the end of the game was priceless. That, guys, was priceless. We've seen veteran players mess up. We talk about how bad this team is in possession, right? And these 3 youngsters here gonna do something like that and take the game away from Watford. I thought that was a professional performance, especially from Odegaard and Martinelli. It was almost like they were telepathically telling each other, because when they broke, twice it happened. They broke, didn't they? And you thought, oh, there's nobody in the box where they're going to cross the ball to. No, they were playing Patter Cake Baker's man in the corner net. And I was laughing my head off. It was so funny. So anyway, listen, I thought them 2 were very professional. Tony says, good day for me. Vinci and Neomis wins for Arsenal and the Dolphins. Okay, alrighty then. Randy says, biggest test is Liverpool. That will tell us I agree. Tony says, evening Bertram. With Niles playing so well, I think once Xhaka is back, it's the end of the road for El Nene. Bro, it's the end of the road for Xhaka and El Nene, because you should have been playing Niles from a long. The guy's a dog. The guy he's a bully. I'm sorry, he was beating people up today, and it ain't nothing that we ain't seen before. He was probably one of our best midfielders in that first 6 months of Arteta's reign, and he was just beating man up. And today he was beating man up in the midfield again. He's a bully.
I hope when Jack is back, that Arteta realizes that you don't have to bring him back, because that's the only question that I have, because I think everybody in the midfield has proved that Xhaka is not needed in order to make this club successful and to win games.
Bobby says Uber hit it with power, which shows nervous signs. Work rate fantastic, ruining Odegaard's goal. Just like look, guys. Like I said, that was his worst performance of the season. And every other game, he's played really well. Even if he hasn't scored, he's committed himself to the cause. He's pressing. This season, Aubameyang's pressing has been very good. Not good. It's been very good. D says, we've got to take Uber off penalties. Yeah, I agree. And replace him with Laka or even Maitland Niles. Maitland Niles is the coolest penalty taker I've ever seen. Laka doesn't get psyched out with penalties and strikes the ball low and hard. I agree. This is Bobby Borman. Says, to be fair, the subs were good today. I thought so. When you're sitting down there and you're saying the game needs this. At one point, I said take Saka off for Pepe, and then I said no, take Saka off for El Nene. And as soon as I said that, El Nene rips off his clothes and because you could just see we were starting to lose the midfield. And as soon as you thought it, he did it. So Arteta's on the ball, man. He's on the ball. Tony says Niles was outshone by Sambi for something of the game, 10% of the game maybe. I thought Niles was the best player on the pitch, and I thought Sambi had an off day today. The game is a potential banana skin. Yeah, a couple of guys said that. Who said it? I think it was Cool K. He said the game was a banana slip, and you're sitting there thinking, oh god, this is going to be it. This is going to be one of those days. There's no way. I don't know. So this is Bobby again. Says no way. Arteta likes Xhaka. It's not the end of the road for him. But while you rate him, I know you rate Saka. Tony says Sambi 85 touches to Niles 50. Sambi, again the eye test. Sometimes we can all agree. Sometimes not all about stats, but Sambi had 4 shots. Yeah, did you see? If Sambi had put that ball anywhere other than the goalkeeper, that would have flown right into the back of the net. It just so happens. Remember, I talk about young midfielders always striking it directly in center of the goal, and it takes some of that kind of experience to place the ball into the corners of the nets. So Tony says, see how you are so wrong.
No. Tony, Sky Sports gave Maitland Niles man of the match as well.
Yeah, so did BBC as well.
Yeah. So Tony is now using touches as the main criteria for performance. I think, Tony's when you get the ball, what you do with it, not necessarily how much time you touch the ball. Lokonga touches the ball a lot. I think one game he had 90-something passes in the first half of a game. He's like Thiago. Doesn't mean you're always effective when you touch it a ton. So I would say, Tony, you and I normally agree of late, but we're not agreeing today.
Neomis, do you want to do your player ratings?
Yeah, my one are pretty easy because both of me and your ratings are very, very similar. I probably would have given the whole back line a 7, except for Tavares, I would have given him a 7.5. So both Ben White and Gabriel would have got 7s for me. I thought the defense were one of the reasons why, like, it was just complete shutdown. I don't think Watford had any real chance to do anything out this game. And I know Ranieri's tactics were really just to sit back, soak up the pressure, try to hit us on the counter-attack. But I thought our defense and our goalkeeper in Ramsdale did what they needed to do, even though Ramsdale didn't really have much to do out the game. But I thought the defense was solid. Ben White getting forwards. I can't remember where that was, but that whole situation led to the goal with Lacazette. So it was good to see him take the initiative to go up and do that, because he could have just played his part and just stayed in defense. But it's good that he took the initiative for that. Gabriel, I loved again. He wasn't as rash as what we've seen in the game, but there was a couple of moments. I think him and Ismail Sarr had a moment whereby I watched him follow him basically into the center of midfield, just because Sarr got a little on him. So I think that, going forward, that he probably still needs to work on that. But overall, I thought Gabriel was fine. Tavares, 7.5 for me. I loved, again, him bombing forwards, try to create chances for us. The only thing I'd say criticism of him is when he has the ball and he likes to go forward, he tends to like to push the ball first and then run onto it. And I think there were several times where he got caught out with that and lost possession. But apart from that, for me, he was that additional impact, which he caused a lot of problems for Watford. Saka, I also gave a 6 as well. Defensively, I thought was solid. Completely owned Danny Rose in the first half. Always was kind of tracking back and working hard for the team. But the attacking side, in terms of scoring goals and trying to do things, I think he's lost his confidence. I don't think there's anything there. I don't know if it's because, like you said, that he knows he's not doing enough on the attacking side and he's getting nervous, overthinking stuff. But he's lost something there. And I think maybe we should decide to take him off a little bit sooner. I think we took off Saka, like 70th, 80th minute. I thought Martinelli should have come on, or Pepe should have come on in replace of him a lot earlier. And this is probably the third time that I've been saying this. So that's probably one thing I would have kind of criticized Arteta about, and Saka probably should have come off sooner. Maitland Niles is my man of the match. I thought, even though he wasn't the one to score the goal, he was the unsung hero. He tracked back, he worked hard, cover for the right backs, cover for the left backs when needed. The only thing I would have said is that even though he had some nice passes, again, maybe the reason probably why I don't think he could ever dislodge Thomas Partey out of that role is his kind of final ball in the final third of the pitch. But
isn't that great? Isn't that great?
No, yeah,
that's great,
it
great,
is,
isn't it?
It is. You know what? Like I'm glad to see that he's getting his opportunity, because he's doing exactly what I've said that I thought he could do. And even one day we're going to go and play a 3 in midfield, and I expect him to be in that. because
and what happens in the African Cup of Nations if it goes ahead? What happens there? Doesn't he slot in? Because Xhaka's not going to be coming back into training in January, which means he won't be fit. I think Neomis is frozen up there. So I think, is that something that you would do? Xhaka is when Xhaka comes back into training in January, he probably ain't going to play until the end of January. So I think Niles just slots in there in January. Job done. Yeah, and Neomis is really struggling a bit with his connection. Neomis, I can see you now.
You could sorry, but I missed a lot of what you were saying. You mentioned about Xhaka coming back in January.
Yeah, and then I was saying that Xhaka's not going to play in January when he comes back because he won't be match fit. So you can slot Niles in there. Job done.
Yes, but the problem is that I know Arteta like Xhaka, and I like so far Arteta has done what was needed, and that's when players that are playing well, you stick with them until something goes wrong, or maybe it's a tactical thing that needs to be done, or they just perform exceptionally well, and then you just play them. If he does that with Xhaka, then we probably shouldn't see Xhaka for a while. He probably doesn't get back into the team, but we really just won't know. But for me, I'm glad that he's at least starting games and getting that opportunity, because I was quite worried that he wasn't going to get that opportunity, especially given their history. So well done to him for that. Sambi, I actually gave a 7. I thought he was pretty good today as well. Good passing from him. Wasn't impactful, I think, like you guys have mentioned, as previously done. But I thought him and Maitland Niles worked kind of very well on the pitch. Smith Rowe, I gave an 8 for the obvious. Scored the winning goal. How could you not? But like you mentioned, he wasn't making those runs. He wasn't really pressing in the first half. I'm not sure if it's because he didn't want to or he was told to because of Watford. Still trying to figure that one out. But definitely in the second half improved a hell of a lot. So I'm happy with him there. Bamiang, I gave a 4. A lot because of what we said. Just not being clinical enough. Lacazette, a 6. Worked hard. I like the way that he filled in on the right as well at times, allowing kind of Saka to come forward, to come in the middle, allowing Maitland Niles and Sambi to come in the middle as well. But again, just what I'd like to see from Lacazette is that even though he's now in this number 10, it's almost like he's like another midfielder and he's just forgotten that he's a striker. And I'd like to see him take more shots from the outside and be a goal threat. Because the one thing that I could criticize this Arteta side about is that we are not scoring enough goals. And that is, it's a continued worry that I don't think about that much. But long term, I think Lacazette is needed as a part of that, because it's really only Aubameyang and Smith Rowe that are scoring, which is good for them. But we do need some goals in other places as well. And then Arteta, I gave an 8.5. Again, I thought he got his tactics spot on. Love the consistency. My only real criticism of him is to come with Saka, with Martinelli and Pepe. And for him starting Maitland Niles, who was man of the match. So, yeah, that's it for me.
Yeah, I was just looking at what you were saying there about the goal tally. So we've scored 13 goals in 11 games. Brighton, who are not known to be scorers, have scored 12. Wolves have scored 11. Spurs have scored 9. Palace have scored 2 more than us. Everton have scored 16, 3 more than us. Leicester City have scored 3 more than us, 16. Southampton have scored less. Brentford have scored the same amount of goals as us. Leeds have scored 11. Aston Villa have scored 1 more goal than us, and they've got their manager sacked. There's a lot of teams that are not scoring to their potential right now, Leomis. A lot of teams.
I know, but I feel like if we can solve this goal issue that we have, and I think that we have the players to do so, then we kind of get out of this weird grey area on where we think Arsenal are going to finish. Because then we could start talking about, oh yeah, Arsenal will finish way better than 7th. Because I'm talking about 7th, and I still think we'll finish 7th because of that. But if we started scoring more goals, I think quite easily we'll finish 5th and potentially challenge for top 4.
Sorry, go on.
I was going to say, when you look at our defensive record compared to the top 4, apart from, I think it's Chelsea.
Well, the first 3 games when we had half a team, when we had 9 players out. Yeah. Well, if you take those games out, then we've let in 4 goals in our last 8 games.
I mean, I'm not even looking at that.
That's crazy.
I'm just looking at the whole thing. Like even when you look, because we've conceded.
Yeah, but you can't look at the whole thing when we didn't have a team. When you line up against Chelsea and Man City with 5 players under the age of 21, that's just not. That's a frustrating part of the interview with Josh Kroenke today was about how they dealt with that as a business. They had a meeting. They all sat in a room and they said before it happened. They said, guys, we're going to get hit hard with this COVID. And remember, last week I said they should have cancelled those games. So they, as a business, took that on the chin. They sat down and they all said to each other, we are going to lose. With the result, well, they didn't come out and say we're going to lose. They said the results over these next 3 games aren't going to be nice. We need to be able to take that on the chin and rise above it and move on. And part of his interview today, I thought, really tackled that, because it didn't affect them. Sometimes when you have a start like that, it could really have a negative effect on your young players, your team, and your manager and everything. And they kept their head, and that shows professionalism.
I mean, all of that's fine. I mean, like, even though the thing is, over the course of a season, anything could happen. Injuries, like in January, there's still African Cup of Nations. Like we all could have that. But even with the 13 goals, like our defensive record is still comparable to between the top 4. So
our defensive record's very good. I mean, I think in fact
it's right.
I think in the last let me check now. I think that's correct. Yeah, so we are. Chelsea have let in 4 goals all season.
Yeah, and
Man City have let in. They've let in 5 over the last 8 games. We've let in 4. So we've got, over the last 8 games on our unbeaten streak, we've got the second best defense in the league.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And even when you look at it all, like, we are right. Like West Ham, we've conceded the same amount as West Ham, and they're in 3rd. Like Liverpool, we've conceded 2 more than Liverpool, and they're in 4th. So we are right in the same league as them. So, if we solve the goal scoring thing, anything could happen.
I agree. Bertrand, before I come to you, let's go to D. D says, Odegaard. He's gone with what's that? Have I missed something? Did he do his player ratings before? Let me just go up and check.
Subs.
He must have sent his. No, he didn't. He's just done a grading of the subs. Is that right? Oh, that's strange. Okay. He says Odegaard 6.5, Martinelli 6, El Nene 5.5. I don't have the the ratings for the players, D. So can you send those or resend it again, please? He says still hesitant and delayed with his subs. He kept on with Uber and Saka way too long. I think I agree with that. Tony says Niles was missing and kept giving the ball away. What? Both me and my mate were expecting better, and we said that we were disappointed in the man of the match performance. 18 says Ramsdale 7, Tommy 7, Gabby 6, Ben Red 8, Tavares 7.5, Saka 6, Niles 8, Smith Rowe 8, Uber 5, Laka 6, Arteta 8. He's given Arteta 8. He says Tony Niles did all the dirty work that goes unseen. It didn't go unseen if Sky and BBC have given him man of the match, my friend. D says Watford kept kicking. Watford were being overly aggressive, and the ref just sat back and watched it happen. It was ridiculous. 19 fouls, 4 yellows, whereas we had, I reported that in my review. I even sent it on Twitter. I sent a Twitter picture at halftime saying that we had 5 tackles and 4 yellow cards. So he was almost booking us for every tackle, for every foul that we were making. And they had 16 fouls and only 2 yellows. That was I've never seen that happen before in my life. D says Tony given Maitland Niles a 5. I think Tones had a few lines today. G says perspective. G said perspective. The league is 11 games old and we were doomed 7 games ago. 8 games ago, I think it was. And now we've just gone joint 4th playing with 0 midfield. Well, not 0 midfield. I thought the midfield's been really good, mate. The midfield was our worst position last season. And I think we've severely improved that this season. With 0 midfield, take the points at this stage. Look forward to when the swashbuckling stuff. That's what Neomis is saying. He says, super happy with Maitland Niles also. He's always been dead certain capable of becoming a world-class centre midfield. Some way still to go. I know. I think he's there now. I think he was there 2 years ago. I think when he was busting up on that man 2 seasons ago, he was right there. But I just don't know why Arteta started the season last season without him. I don't know why he went with Xhaka and Ceballos in the midfield. I don't get it. So, and it is what it is. If you keep going back to that pot, it's going to keep on disappointing you. I'm sorry. That's just my opinion. Some way still to go. Obviously, he's got all the tools. I thought that Smith was edging Saka in talent by margins for some time, and I'm more and more convinced he's our star to come. You were right about him 3 years ago. I know I was right because I was telling you guys that he was the next Aaron Ramsey. And I actually think he's got the capability to be better than Ramsey because Ramsey was a man that would give you 10 goals, 12 assists, Cazorla type numbers. This year, brother, is the second highest leading scorer in the team. So in the last 6 games, he's had a hand in 6 goals, 4 goals and 2 assists. The man is doing, look, listen to Bertram Spence. Bertram is saying that the midfield young players need to do more. He is doing more. End of. PW, which is Neomis's mate, he says, with that goal tally, when we won't finish top 4.
P-Dubs, let's.
No, he's right. But and what you said, Neomis, is if we fix that problem, then that's top 4, right? Yeah.
Well, no. It's more we'll challenge for top 4. We could start to flirt with the idea of it, but I don't think we should be focused on that. Let's take this in baby steps now. Like maybe next season when we add another forward to kind of replace Lacazette, then we could kind of talk about it now. But yeah, I'm not going to get myself up with our top 4 discussion.
Yeah, and then he says the season didn't start in the 4th game. It did for us, mate. It did for us because that it's about expectations. And when you have 9 players out of your team, if you took 9 players out of any team in the league, bar maybe Chelsea, well, no, Chelsea would be affected, not City. I think if you take 9 players out of City, you ain't gonna lose much. yeah. I've seen these guys go with a completely different 11, and they're well drilled, Man City. But we knew it weren't gonna happen for us. So I kept saying to these guys, wait until Norwich. I saw people crying, heads drop down to the chin, everything, and I said, wait till Norwich. Neomis, you want to say something before Bertram gives his?
Yeah, the season's going to have its ups and downs. So, I know you want to discount the first 2-3 games, whatever it is, but that's just part of the downs of the season. And now we're on the up, and there will probably be another down that's probably coming. But you at the end of the day, it's all about what happens at the end of the season, where we finish. That's the most important thing. So, it is what it is.
Bertram, you got the conch. What's your player ratings, mate?
So it was a strange game today. We dominated possession the first half of the game. I think at one point we had 90-something% possession in the first half of the game. Not the first half, but the first half of the game. And as the game progressed and you analyze the game, So we dominated possession. We didn't create a lot of chances. They didn't do much. That affects my ratings. So I gave Ramsdale a 6.5. He didn't do much today. He didn't have much to do today. He didn't really have to save any shot today. Can't give you an 8 or a 7 when you didn't have much to do. And you made a blunder where if the forward had more composure, he would have scored. That ball that went between your leg, I know people say, well, it doesn't affect you because it leads to a goal. We need to look at where you have deficiencies in whatever you're doing and how the deficiency can cost you and correct them. So it's not a deficiency, you made a mistake. But I gave him a 6 because he didn't have to do much. And the one time he had to do something, he made a blunder. Can't give you a 7 or 8 because that's not deserved. I thought the rest of the defense played really well, even though again, they didn't have a ton to do, which makes it very difficult to grade. Because think about the pressure we had from last week at Leicester when they bombarded us the second half. That wasn't the case today. It was a pretty comfortable. Sarr made a couple of runs. They put some ball in the box. But Watford didn't offer much resistance or much pressure, I should say, not necessarily resistance. So it's hard to grade. So I gave all the defenders a 7 because I couldn't differentiate between them. And even though Tavares attacked some more, I didn't think he was overly effective going forward. He was basically playing left wing. Now, in the first half, Niles actually was the left back. We had limited pressure for him to run back. Once in a while, Sarr may have done something. But he was basically playing left wings. I'm judging him based as almost like a forward/wing back versus playing as a left back. So I gave him the same grade like I gave all of them. I gave Lakanga 7. I mean, I don't know what his stats are, but he touched the ball quite a bit. Made some turnovers here and there, sometime in dangerous position, which he tend to do, what Partey does also. But I thought he played well enough. I gave Niles the man of the match. I thought Niles, look, sometimes pass accuracy won't be great, but what I liked about his game today was he was thinking offensively. But sometimes our center mids like to turn the ball back, don't think forward. That chip he made to Lacazette, which then went to Aubameyang, I think was a brilliant play. And a number of times he fed the ball across the field trying to get the ball in. But I thought his athleticism, and he likes to be cool in terms of how he runs. He was actually showing some more robustness and vigor in terms of how he approached the game and how he got into tackles. So I thought he played a very good game. Smith Rowe had a mixed game. I mean, sometimes you see him, sometimes you don't. Scored a very, very good goal. Made a pretty skillful plays. I think he's a better player than Ramsey, by the way. And now Paulo keep doing the comparison.
Yeah,
He's smooth on the ball.
He's
one of the better runs in the league. He's very, very fluid, good control, can beat a man, has speed. Ramsey was a good goal scorer, but never played his position really well because he's always out of position and create pressure on us when we lose the ball upfield. But I think Smith Rowe also runs back, which is good for him. Doesn't really tackle that much or tackle well, but he's always in position to help prevent the opposition from attacking us. If we go on the forward line, Naomi's talked about goal scoring, which I want to get to because we scored 13 this year in 13 games. Go look back the last 2 or 3 years. We're not scoring goals. I think last year was 50-something. The year before was 50-something. We're not scoring goals. And our teams are scoring 80, 90 goals. We're not scoring goals. That's our biggest problem. So now we're always saying, fix the defense. We have fixed the defense. So our Achilles heel is now showing up, which is we can't score goals. 13 is atrocious for being in 5th position. Look at the other teams in there. Chelsea's 27. Liverpool is much more than that. City's over 20. West Ham is 23. We're not scoring goals. So if you don't score goals, even though West Ham may give up 13, they have a 10-goal difference. We are a 0-goal difference. And we gave up, we're improving because we gave up 9 in the first 3 games. But we need a forward and we need a winger.
Would you agree with my assessment that is the difference between us finishing in the Europa League spot and the top 4 spot? If you had a bona fide striker who would get you 20 goals a season, you'll finish on the top 4. But
no,
because
I think
we don't,
it's more than that. We need a bona fide striker who can play football. So I get frustrated when people give Aubameyang anything above a 5 grade when he doesn't score a goal. So when I grade Watford today, Aubameyang was their best player. Their best player. Why do I say that? The first goal that he miscontrolled that Saka scored was a tap-in that he miscontrolled, a tap-in. Yeah. The second one where he missed the penalty, and the third one where he saved Aubameyang from when we prevent Odegaard from scoring. Mm. So he gave away 3 goals basically, which is good for Watford, kept them in the game. Because without him, we'd have won the game much easier. He can't pass a ball. He can't beat a man. I'm sorry, but I know he scores a lot of goals. When I grade him every week, I just walk away frustrated with the player because the player can't play football. A great goal scorer, not good goal scorer, a great goal scorer, can't play football.
Yeah, but
can't control the ball well all the time. Can't pass a man.
But I just want to say, look, I just want to say, over the last few weeks, I have seen him pass the ball. I have seen him link play.
The ball. So he made a few. No, here's what you guys are confused of. He make a couple of flicks, but he flicks to Smith Rowe down the line, or he flicked to someone else. Go check his passing stats. Put his passing stats.
He's not the greatest passer, but I've seen him pass the ball well in the last few games. And in the last 6 or 7 games, I've seen him pass the ball well. And so I've seen him. And hold on, sorry, because I just want to add some context to what you're saying. Yeah, you're also.
But you don't need to apologize. My context. You can't add context to my context.
Yeah, well, I am because I want. Yeah, no, I am because I want you to broaden your mind and thinking. Yeah, you've put him in this box. Yeah, Bertram, you've put him in this box, and for most of what you're saying, I don't think anybody will disagree. He's not the best footballer. You've been more so correct on times where you said if he hasn't scored, then he doesn't play well. That's changed this season. I think he's played really, really well this season, even when he doesn't score. But the one thing that I have to pick you up on now, and again, it's just adding context to your opinion, because you did this with Nketiah. You do it a lot with Nketiah, actually. It's you talk about what he does offensively on the ball, but not defensively. And his defensive play off the ball has been exceptional at times. And today was another great. He was the only person who was running down that back line today. So before you assess him on his full performance and talk about giving him a 5 or whatever, there is a lot more to his game that you're missing out because you're talking about one side of his game. I'm just sort of pointing that out for you. So you can add a little bit more gravitas to it.
Paula interrupt me. I didn't interrupt it when he had.
I know. Sorry, I apologize.
I didn't put any context on his stuff. But here's my context. So when I say pass the ball, anybody with their back to defense can lay off a wall pass to someone in front of you or play it backwards. Passing the ball for a forward is in tight spots, like you see what Firminos of the world do, or a Cavani may do, where they lay the ball off, with Lacazette does, with the right speed in close quarters to get by the defense. That's passing the ball as a forward. You don't have players around you. You don't have much room to maneuver. It's not playing the ball back to my midfield or playing the ball back to my center half. Who cares when you do that? Passing the ball is a Giroud who gets the ball, it sticks, and he lays the ball off with subtlety to allow his players around him to be able to express themselves. He doesn't do that. I get frustrated when people talk about passing the ball. He can't pass the ball. See, look at him try to make a pass between the lines. He flicks the ball up in the air, the defense get the ball. That's a turnover, and it doesn't help, and I'm frustrated with it. So people talk about Aubameyang working hard. He reminds me of Sanchez, who's pressed by himself with no one's around him, and it's ineffective pressing. Pressing is like Man City does, or Liverpool used to do, which is I look around like you see De Bruyne does, or Sterling does, where are my mates? Let's go hunt. It's not running down the keeper by yourself, and you walk around, you're getting offside next time because the ball is passed around you, and what you do, you got to go right field. When has he pressed and create a turnover? Except last year he did with the goalkeepers a couple of times. But this year, when did he press and create a turnover? You can't press by yourself. It makes no sense. Premier League players are good in spreading the field wide and play the ball around you. So he's not effective pressing. I hear the pundits say it. I listen to the commentators, and I'm sitting there saying, why am I on an island by myself watching this? Because I don't have the same perspective. I'm sitting here thinking, go back and watch the game, watch him play, watch what he does. He's an ineffective forward if he doesn't score. Now, he's not a good goal scorer. He's a great goal scorer. He may not necessarily score as much as he probably should nowadays. His penalty today, if you're going to go down the middle, do it a little bit slower or go high, because the keeper may react if it comes too quick because he's coming off his line. If you kick it a little bit slower, that's why people do the Panenka, is that they already committed, they can't get back, right? He went down the middle and he was told down the middle. That wasn't a good outcome. But let's forget about the penalty. His overall play is not satisfactory. So I gave him well, I'm gonna be generous and give him a 3.5. I don't think he was a 4 because I think he was Watford's best player. If you save 3 goals for the opposition, you can't be the best player. You can't get more than one of the 3.5. He saved them 3 goals. In fact, one was a definite goal that he took off the line, which was going in. He saved Watford today, and almost had us lose when Ramsey made the ball go between his legs. That's my frustration. Saka, a very good player. He didn't have a terrible game today, but guys, we scored 13 goals. He's 1 in 11. I'm sorry. My forward, my Salahs, my Manes, my Rashfords, all the other players I'm looking at. 1 in 11 Premier League games. And you guys give me a hard time about me being critical of Saka. So if you extrapolate that, he's going to be 4 for this season. You're trying to be top 4. You can't have your forwards go 4. He was 5 goals last year. So he played about 35 games last year. So in 46 games, he has 6 goals. And he's not creating a ton of assists. So how is that going to help us, given our objectives and what we're trying to achieve? I watch AFTV. I hear all the pundits. They rave about Saka. He's very good on the ball. We won't disagree on that. I need production. I can't afford you, Saka. I just can't afford you. I don't care how young you are.
See, I don't even.
Charity. He's played the most games in Arteta's reign. Listen to this, Apollo. He's played the most games in Arteta's reign to date. So therefore, if you've had your first year as your acclimation year, the second year you're getting up to speed, this is your third year. I need more production. Else you can't work for me. I don't care how young you are. I don't care how good you are. I need outcome. So Saka, I gave him a 6 today. I didn't think he was terrible today, by the way.
Yeah, me too. I
don't think we supported him as well as we should, meaning when you get the ball, you should have at least 2 passes. A lot of times he only had 1 pass or no pass. He created the pass versus the players coming to him to give him options. He wasn't getting a lot of options today. And when you're on the sideline is a barometer, you know. The sideline prevents you, is like a defender. So you can only go inside. That's why Maitland Niles sometimes struggle out there because he needs room to maneuver. Saka today was tough, but I gave him a 6. I don't think he was terrible today.
Yeah, me too.
Lacazette, he had a strange game also, I thought. I gave him a 6, but I was trying to digest Lacazette game and what he brought to the game today.
Did you hear what I said about him floating out on the right? What was all that about?
I don't know. I think we have this inverted formation where we play Smith Rowe almost like an inside left. Laka also goes almost similar, almost down the middle. It's not clear down the middle. No, I'm sorry, Aubameyang. Laka then sometimes drifts because you have Lokonga coming over. Abba may come over sometimes. If Saka goes inside, then the outside is open, right? So he's trying to support Saka a lot of times, actually. That's how he ended up out there, because Saka doesn't have the same support.
Right.
So Tamayasu is not supporting like how Tavares supports on the left. But Tavares is playing left wing.
So Bertram, did you remember I said to you and Tony and the Omis last week, and I said, when I was watching them play against Villa, it almost looked like, it reminded me of them playing the old Holland way, which is when Cruyff went to Barcelona and they playing 4-2-4. It almost looks like that. And it's really...
what we're doing also is we're employing the same system of practice that employees has been here, which is he used to have Xhaka cover for Tierney, but it wasn't as pronounced as Maitland Niles at some point in the game today. Nathan was going real wide. Xhaka would ease inside, so he's covering, but he's not as wide as how Maitland went today. But he had Tavares, I think he want to exploit his offensive skills, playing really wide and really far up the field. Yeah. Even when we're playing a 4-2-3-1, frankly, which I thought was interesting. And he keeps on having Smith Rowe drift inside because Smith Rowe is not a true winger. So you really saw Smith Rowe really out wide. And he wasn't playing the 10 because Laka was playing the 10. So it's an interesting formation, but it seems to be working because we're winning, right? But we can't afford to go play the better teams and we're not creating enough chances too, which is interesting. Like today, we didn't really create very good chances. The penalty wasn't a chance we create. The one with Laka that Maitland Niles shipped over sort of was a chance, which Abba fluffed. Odegaard created his own chance, the one he almost scored. But we're not creating, so we're putting people in on goals.
So you do know, we talked about this before. You do know we are the 5th highest created chances in the league. Yes,
and I question the rating, the agencies that compile these stats because I'm having the eye test. And I'm just frustrated with these agencies when they create something they call a chance. I'm like, no, it's not a chance.
Yeah, because today could have been 3 or 4-0, and we're talking about we're not scoring
today.
Yeah.
It should be 4-1 actually.
But we're sitting here saying
that goal that Ramsey missed the kick. It should be 4-1.
But we're sitting here saying we're not creating enough chances. The stats say we are.
Penalty, Apollo. One was a penalty. Well, so here's the thing about chances too, Apollo.
Yeah.
Crosses, set pieces are deemed chances, right? I view set pieces in their own construct, not the same as a normal open play set piece. So the header that was made by Gabriel today, I'm sure they called it a chance.
Yeah.
And the keeper saved with his legs.
Yeah.
That beat him a chance. I'm talking about chance from open play. So I should correct and say chance from open play because we scored the most set pieces this year?
Yeah, six. 6 out of our last.
So we're creating chance from set pieces, but I view more open play where I'm breaking down the defense. I'm getting the balls in between the line, and I'm getting my players in and goal. I'm not sure we've had a ton of those. So the penalty today would be a chance. It wasn't really a chance. I mean, Rose just made a really crazy play. I thought Odegaard created his own chance today, so that's a chance. I thought the one.
Hold on. What about the free? I talked to you and Neomis before when I did Tavares' rating. He put 3 crosses into the box right on the dime, and the way how the ball was bending, it's a ball a goalkeeper cannot come and collect because it's constantly out swinging. It's inviting you in to come off your line, but the swing on the ball is coming away from the 6-yard line. So a goalkeeper has to plant himself. It was so inviting, not once or twice. He did it 3 times, and there was not a single red shirt in the box.
So here's here's the fallacy with chances created by these rating agencies. 2 things. One is, you said I created a chance. Here's my first question: who missed the chance? If I play a ball in the box and there's no one there, you say it's a chance. Well, who was there? Who missed the chance? If you say I got a chance, well, who missed that chance? They can't tell me anyone who missed the chance. Which to me makes no sense. That's not logical.
Yeah, but we did have 14 shots and 6 on target, so there was chances there.
No, but Apollo, so we can take a shot from 30 yards out. Is that a chance? Laconga take a very good shot. Is that really a chance, or we created something out of nothing? That's what my frustration was. We can't dribbles nowadays, for Christ's sake. We can't dribbles, and it's a great thing. Really? What did you dribble to? Did you dribble in the corner and beat a man, or did you dribble towards the goal and create a chance?
I think that's the reason why I said on the rating with Smith Rowe, in the first half, he did none of that. And in the second half, it's almost like Arteta just gave him a kick up the backside. When I was in the stairs on the tunnel doing my report and saying Smith Rowe just looks disinterested, and towards the last 5 or 10 minutes towards the first half, he just sprung to life, and all of a sudden it was like, okay, this is more like it. And that frustrated me. I saw him take 3 passes and put the ball to Ben White, and I was like, bro, why are you going that way? We need to go that way. And so I feel this frustration, but he's the guy that makes us go. And because he has the ability to run at defenders, Aaron Ramsey could never do that. Ramsey was a guy who would set up. At one point, I don't think you two remember this, but when Ramsey came into the team, the argument was who had the better pass into the final third, Fabregas or Ramsey. You lot might not remember that, but I remember it because they were talking about it in training all the time. And Thierry Henry used to have all these arguments, and Canu and them guys used to come in and say, that Aaron Ramsey has always been a quality passer of the ball, very underrated. But he never had the ability to run at defenses, not in the way Smith Rowe does. Smith Rowe is a different animal. Smith Rowe will take you on, and Arsenal lack that ability. And this is something where we're talking about now. He's beginning to overtake Saka because Saka does a lot of running, but he doesn't run at the defense. Remember, we used to talk about him putting the ball through the player's legs, and when was the last time you see him do that? Running directly at the defender into the box. It's almost like, so for me, I think that's where he needs to get on the coaching field, see what he's doing, watch the tape, and this is what, show him a tape of 2 years ago. This is what you were doing when you were just running past people, running into the boxes. You had 14 assists in your first year, and then you had 11 assists. And so where is that Saka gone? Yeah.
Well, I think there are a couple of things, right? One is that he's not getting to dangerous positions to be able to score goals. Secondly, Smith Rowe is not playing a wing. Smith Rowe is almost playing like a forward position, so he's going to be in better positions. I think Smith Rowe potential is higher than Saka, frankly. But I do think he gets in better position because he's playing almost inside left versus playing out wide like Saka does. Because we have Tierney and Tavares who plays out wide. So Smith Rowe is always going to be in a better position to try to score a goal or closer to the box than Saka is. But I still don't think Saka gets in dangerous position. He did today, but it was an offside position. It was an interesting offside because the keeper was the one who was out. Yeah. And the defender was behind him, but you need 2 people, right? For you to be offside, it has to be 2 people. So, look,
and that's frustrating when you get balls into the box and there's no one on the end of it. That's the problem for me.
Yeah, but Apollo, then why are you playing the ball in the box if there's no one there?
Because you're expecting, especially from where the ball's coming from. So I'm not talking about the Tierney situation. The Tierney one is he's just outside the penalty area. He's close and he's looking up. He's not. No one's even making a run into the box, and the ball goes in. To me, that's a turnover. But with Tavares,
but here's the thing, Apollo. So as I said, we take all these rating agencies or some of them are new to football. They come with all these stats, and we glorify them and we leverage them. And some of the stats are good. But I struggle with stats that talks about chances created because I kick the ball in the box in dangerous position and there's no one there. And then I say I create a chance. I'm like, well, if you create a chance, someone has to miss the chance for it to be a chance in my book anyway. Maybe I'm old school and I'm dated. But if you create a chance, someone has to miss the chance. If no one's missed a chance, then how is it a chance? I don't understand that concept.
I do agree with that. But as I said, the numbers show that we had 14 shots and 6 on target. So there was production there.
But because you took a shot, doesn't mean it was a chance, right? If I took a shot from 35 yards, it's a good shot. Doesn't mean it was a chance. That's what I'm saying. To me, a chance is what, on the whole, Wenger means to create chances. Galore. There was no ambiguity about those chances. I put you on goal, Walcott missed, Giroud missed, all these players missed. We know what those chances were.
Yeah, I think that, when we separate that, they do talk about chances created and then they do talk about big chances created. And those are when the ball's played in, and then the guy actually has a shot, and whether it's on goal or not. And what's the last one? The last one is passes into the final third. I think that's the other one. But
right, which we can't Partey in a midfield from deep, right?
Yeah.
Partey is the only one who does it from real deep, even close to our own half. He'll make a pass real deep in between the lines to his forward line. That's why you need a forward who can stick the ball, can stick on when you put it between the lines and create danger. Because then the defense is spread out. Laka doesn't do that really well.
Yeah,
he can only play behind, and that's a problem for us.
And I don't think we don't have enough Walcotts in the team that makes those runs behind the defensive back line as well. What do you think, Leamis?
I agree on that. I think that's what we thought Pepe was going to be able to do. See, it's a funny thing because I actually agree with Bertram in terms of the whole chance created thing. In a way, I'm kind of in between both of you because for me, I look at shots, but for me, I focus more on shots on target. If I see, fine, we made 16 shots, 8 were on target, I'm expecting us to score at least half of them because generally those of how the numbers should go, that should tell us how clinical we are. Like today's game, like we got 6 of them on target, I'm expecting 3 goals. And if you look at what happened in the game, like we probably should have scored 3 goals. But in terms of where we are right now, in terms of the goal scoring situation, like we're short of about 10 goals. Where can we put those 10 goals? Like for me, Aubameyang and Smith Rowe, they're scoring goals. Yes, we talk about Aubameyang's deficiencies, but for now, let's put that aside because that's not going to get resolved for at least another year. But like what I would like to see is Lacazette and Saka to be scoring more goals. Because if we could get them scoring goals, then we could start having these conversations about where we really want to be with Arsenal right now.
We are unbalanced, Naomi. So we bought Odegaard, who's not a real goal scorer, right? So a lot of money for him. Saka is not a very good goal scorer. Smith Rowe can score goals, that's very obvious. But he's playing inside, so that allowed him to be closer to the box. Maybe Saka he probably scored more goals. Abba can score. Laka is not a prolific goal scorer. Hasn't been since he's been with us. He make a double, but he's not prolific.
But this is why. This is where where like the Pepe and the Martinellis of this world. This is why I thought we would really need these players this season because I'm looking at it and I'm like, we are close. Like defensively, we're solid. Like we've seen it. Only 13 goals conceded. We're comparable to the teams above us right now. And the biggest gap is this goal scoring. And if we scored 10 more goals, we would be right up there with them.
I think Pepe needs to be closer to the goal like Smith Rowe is. Pepe is a skillful player, but when he loses the ball too much, which is sort of strange, giving everyone laud his skills that he has. Secondly, he doesn't beat his men and goal, right?
Very true.
You don't see him pick a ball up, dismiss you, and go towards the goal. He's always tapping the ball and stuff. He's almost like what we call a scrimmage ball. I put between your legs, I turn you around, but I'm not making progress towards your goal. which then becomes very frustrating, very challenging because he's not being effective. But I still think he has ability. He's a better goal scorer than Saka is. I'm not sure if he's a better goal scorer than Smith Rowe. We'll see how time progresses. But I think he should get. I don't think Saka deserves all the time he's getting. That's why my frustration. I don't think the team can afford for Saka to play that much unless he starts scoring or creating more assists. They just can't afford it. Not when we have 13 goals in 13 games. You got to get more goal scoring. And Laka is playing in the 10, but he's also not close to the goal to be scoring. So you can't keep depending on one goal here and there from Smith Rowe and from Aubameyang. I don't know.
Okay, guys, what we need is this. Yeah, guys, can you tell me whose statistics this is?
32, 14,
2012,
2013. Is that Theo? It's Theo or Ramsey? Got to be Theo.
That's Theo.
Yeah, it's got to be Theo. Yeah.
Got to be Theo.
Yeah.
That's Theo. That's what we're missing.
Yeah.
That's what we're missing.
And he couldn't play football either. So that's
could you,
we need the goals.
Could you imagine if, and I always akin back to 2016, 2017 season.
Yes.
Arsenal had Ozil with 12 goals. Giroud had 16. Walcott had 19 and Sanchez had 31. That's 65 goals between your front four. I rest my case.
And we used to score a lot of goals. We also used to give up a lot of goals because we weren't balanced.
Oh yeah, I agree.
We only attacked. We didn't think about defending. I think this team played with handbrakes on actually.
But that's why I say, Bertram, that Arteta has done something that no manager's done in the last 15 years, and that's build a spine.
And I think what he's done is build the team from the back going forward versus building the team. Like when he used to do, didn't care about the back. He just built a team from the midfield onwards to the forward line.
If Wenger had this defense with those players that we mentioned over, we would have won more.
Yeah.
Just trying to see if I can get this a bit up. Guys,
our goal scoring in the last 3 years hasn't been great. Even when Aubameyang scoring a bunch of goals year before last, we still didn't score a lot of goals as a team.
I think that's part of the reason why when I did the preview in the summer and I talked about the league as a whole, I said the difference between the top 4 teams and the rest of us is light years now. I mean, you look at the goal difference and look, that's West Ham.
Yeah.
What the earth is going? That's West Ham. Then look at the rest of the teams. Arsenal 0, Man United 2, Brighton 1, Wolves -1, Tottenham -7, Crystal Palace 1, Everton. Look, it's not just Arsenal. If we can just slightly improve, and it's all about our conversion, because like I said to Bertram, we are creating chances, we're just not putting them away. Today was indicative of that.
Can I say something? One is Tottenham is an aberration. Because all stem from Kane and the summer, because they normally score a lot of goals between Kane and Song. How many goals of scores Kane scored this season?
Bertram
in the Premier League. 1.
Bertram, today and the last game, in the last 2 games, Tottenham's not even had a shot on target.
But that's the point I'm trying to make, which is Tottenham is not a good example because they're
but there's a whole heap of teams here
not scoring goals, right?
Yeah, look,
they've scored more goals in previous season.
Look, Bertram, Leicester's got Vardy, they've got Maddison and all that.
Leicester is probably a good example. I would agree with Leicester, but Wolves don't score a lot of goals ever. Brighton can't score, that's why they draw so much. So it's not. Crystal Palace don't score a lot of goals. So the teams we're being compared with, Everton normally did, but Calvert-Lewin is out for a long time.
But there are competition, Bertram. There are competition. What I'm trying to say to you is everybody is in this problem. And it's not just located to Arsenal.
Go further down the line. I don't agree with you. Go further down the line. I don't agree with you. Crystal Palace has more goals than we do.
Yeah, I can't because I only took the snapshot because these are the teams that are vying for those 5th and 6th positions. The teams below Leicester are not battling us. They're not our rivals. Any one of these teams, maybe not including Wolves. I think Wolves and Palace will probably fall down the wayside. But I mean, who knows? Maybe they won't.
But the stats are misleading because we're talking about goals scored, not goal difference. Man, you can't save them, can't keep a clean sheet to save their lives. So it's about goals scored.
I agree with that.
And Man U has 20-something goals, don't they?
Yeah,
I think Palace has 15, Man U has 27. So most of them have scored more than we have.
But you know, and what's scary about Wolves is, and I have to go back a couple of years. Wolves, before they lost Jimenez, Wolves used to slap the shit out of us, and I say that because Wolves had the best record against the top 4 teams and any teams in the league. That happened before the injury, and it looks like now Wolves are just slowly clawing themselves back into that. But it's going to take time for them because they haven't lost a lot of players, mind you. But the Jimenez thing really hit them hard. But before he got injured, they were a very good team.
Yeah, but they never scored a lot of goals, though. Even though I agree with you, they're a good team, and Jimenez used to score goals, but never a prolific scoring team. Yeah. Man U always has been. Liverpool has been. West Ham hasn't. West Ham has scored 20-something goals this year already.
Yeah.
West Ham is not a prolific scoring team.
Yeah, but you know what, though, Bertram? You might take this the wrong way, but I think Declan Rice is the best midfielder in the league right now.
Declan Rice is the best midfielder in the league.
If Grealish is worth 100 million, this guy's worth 130.
Grealish is not worth 100 million.
Well, there you go. There you go.
No, because when we think about players, Grealish is an improved St. Maximin because he's not 100. What's Grealish's stats? He's not Salah scoring 20-something goals. But has Grealish ever scored 15 goals in a season?
Yeah, but look at his team now. His team is battling relegation. Villa.
Yeah, but people always say this about Grealish. It's not actually about Grealish. What is it? Okay, here's the thing. What's Grealish doing for Man City?
All right, Bertram, don't go off topic. Bertram, the best, I'm telling you, in my opinion, and you might have a different one, and so will Neomis, but I'm telling you, from what I've seen this season, Declan Rice is the best midfielder in the Premier League.
Well, based on form, I can't necessarily dispute that because De Bruyne hasn't had a good season, frankly. But I can say Silva hasn't been bad either. Bernardo Silva has been exceptional this year.
D agrees with me, actually. He says Declan Rice is the real deal. Declan Rice is phenomenal.
He's played really well.
He's improved a lot.
But on form, he's up there. But I think Silva is just as good as him, actually, in terms of form. Not necessarily just because Kante to me is the best centre midfielder in football, period. But he's not been playing much because of injuries. I think Partey could also be up there, given his offensive skills, but he's not. He's not there where Declan Rice is. So he's very good.
Andy, our Tottenham panelist on a Friday, said outrageous that Arsenal didn't give the ball back to Watford for the foul. Smith Rowe's goal shouldn't have counted. It does.
What's outrageous? What's outrageous?
I'll pick that up with him on a Friday.
I follow. What's outrageous? If a Tottenham to taint Conte's record. What's outrageous? I'm not sure why he chose them, but they're gonna destroy his record because Kane is not firing. It's all blanks. And if he doesn't fire, they're in trouble because Moura doesn't score a lot of goals. Bergwijn doesn't score a lot of goals. Their midfield doesn't score a lot of goals. Where the goals coming from apart from Son?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, D, that's exactly what I was saying, mate. Is just I was watching him closely in the Euros, and then I watched Spain, Italy, and all these other teams. And man, what this guy was doing, and Phillips as well. Phillips is these, but Phillips is not playing at Declan Rice's level right now. Declan Rice is on
right? So he's just coming back.
Yeah. Declan Rice.
Silva's pressing, his all-around game is ridiculous. He runs all game. He's in your face. And offensively, he's better than Rice is. But Rice has been playing well, so you can't.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you this like this. This guy can walk into practically any first 11 in Europe. Forget the Premier League. Yeah, I think that this guy can walk into any first 11 in Europe. He's that good.
Well, maybe Man U should bought him was 70 mil. Now they want to take less than 100 plus for him, right?
And you know what? But this is the reason why I said he's worth more than Grealish because. This guy's just turned 23, right? Declan Rice, 23.
He's only 23.
He's 23. Look, let me see if I can.
And Chelsea reject, by the way. Chelsea reject.
That doesn't surprise me.
Go, don't they? They just
Bertram. That doesn't. Yeah. Oh my God. Hear this, guys. Hear this. He's 22 years old. He won't be 23 until January.
Oh my
No,
God,
he's
wow.
playing brilliantly. Can't knock the player, and he's playing very good against the better teams also. Unlike Fernandez from Man U, I always told you guys last year disappears against the big teams. And I told you his game is finicky because he pretends like he runs and he doesn't run when he has the ball. So he plays one way. That's why Man U struggle because they're playing with 9 defenders, and half of those defenders aren't good. No defense by Fernandez, no defense by Ronaldo. So when they have like 9 and half of them like Maguire don't make one, you're gonna struggle defensively.
Right, guys. So Arsenal are in 5th place, tied. Actually, what did I do with that sheet up? Here it is. So to summarize, Arsenal are in 5th place, 2 points behind Liverpool. Could you imagine after 11 games, if I'd have told you when we were bottom of the league, after the Man City loss in August, 2 months ago, that we would be 2 points off a Champions League spot behind Liverpool, what would you have said? After 11 games.
I would have said, wait until we get all our players back.
Oh, Bertrand, man.
I've always thought, wait, look. We all were despondent at the early parts of the season. But I've always thought that we didn't have all our players. There was no Partey. There was no Ben White. We had COVID. We're all over the place, right?
Yeah, that's why.
Who couldn't get who hasn't played. Who's only on 23 permanently.
Yeah, I sat back and just. I sat back and just watched the house burning. I just listened to all of you lot in the chat.
Well, the house was burning.
I just sat back and then I said to you guys, just wait for Norwich. Just wait till Norwich. Wait until everybody comes back.
Yeah, but White was bullied by Tony, so we had concerns, legitimate concerns. Those concerns are now being abated because we're doing much better, right?
Yeah, Bertrand's like a dog with a bone, you know. You don't let go. Once
I picked us to finish 6th, okay? I picked us to finish 6th, and I'm being conservative. So I picked us to finish 6th because I looked at who we bought and their capabilities, and I said to myself, if we don't lead goals, and if we can get goal scoring from Laka and Abba, because I know Saka doesn't score goals, and I thought Pepe would be doing better, by the way. I thought Pepe would be doing much better.
Hold on, let me have a look, because so hold on, let me get rid of this thing. Bertram said, it's there, 6. He did say that.
I said 6. I thought we'd do well this season. Wow. Not because of our manager, in spite of our manager. I thought we had enough talent with Partey and Gabriel back and Tierney playing well from a season ago. And hopefully Ben White produces. No, I thought we would do well this season.
Wow.
Because we have look, I think the team is not a bad team. I still think we have to do better of keeping the ball against the better teams. So here's what the question is. Do we employ West Ham's strategy against the Liverpools of the world? Because Liverpool today created little or nothing in that game. In the last half of the game, they scored a free kick. Mane missed a clear header and a header, and Origi scored a goal. But if you look at the entirety of the game, West Ham had more clear-cut chances.
Yeah, I know.
They were playing counter-attacking football, like how you saw Leicester played Man City last year, and Villa played against Liverpool, even with before what's his name got injured, Van Dijk got injured. So the question is, do we see? We don't have the ability to keep low blocks like West Ham. West Ham is built to play that way.
Yeah, and they know who they are. Yeah,
they built to play that way. Yeah,
we're still trying to figure out our identity. I mean, West Ham fans now are talking about title contenders.
What title?
Oh my God!
What title? The Europa League.
That's what West Ham fans are talking about now.
They're a good team. They're a physical team. They play the same 11 almost every single game, but they're missing some cutting edge in their team. Right? They're a very balanced team. Abanga got injured today, but I wouldn't say they're title contenders yet. Between giving City, giving Liverpool, and giving Chelsea, who are the elite of the league. But our team is young, right? Saka got bullied today, which is part of my concern with him being in his small stature. I need to spend more time in the gym because he just got beat up by Danny Rose and all the players today. That's part of the challenge that he faces, actually. Yeah. And Smith Rowe is also not the biggest person, so we have a young team, but they have a lot of potential, which is good.
So Tony's just told me to look at the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't know what is happening with
they're playing Green Bay today.
Oh, I don't know what's happening there, Tony. Tony, what's happening with Yeah, he's saying, look at the Chiefs. I don't know what's going on there. What's the score with the Chiefs? I don't know what's going on there, Tony. Oh, they're beating Green Bay 13-0. Okay.
30?
13.
Oh, yeah.
That's strange.
Green Bay's a new quarterback, right? The kid is the quarterback because what's his name is out with.
Oh, that's bad. Jordan Love. Yeah.
Jordan Love is a quarterback because I think Rodgers is out this week because of the COVID situation. So.
He lied about. Yeah, he said he's immunized.
Well, he didn't lie.
He was
It
was misleading. It was misleading. Bertrand.
Well, I mean, a lie means you're trying to deceive.
It was misleading.
But what he did was, he has an alternative treatment, and in his own mind, that treatment immunizes. In conspiracy theory, we believe what we believe.
Yeah.
He believed that treatment immunized him, but it didn't. So
he lied. Somebody was basically saying,
well, he could not make up with the truth.
He sprayed this glue thing in his nose to block his nose from
From what?
But,
from
getting COVID. Yeah. But you can catch it through your mouth and you can catch it through your eyes as well.
Oh,
so yeah.
Kyrie Irving is not playing, he's losing millions, so
did you just hear that Ben Simmons got because he was with the mental health thing, they stopped paying him again. I heard yesterday
that mental health thing is well, look, I don't want to challenge anyone about mental health, but I'm not sure. He had the whole situation with him not want to play for them.
Yeah.
So they call out mental health, which is not a good thing to do, as a rationale as to why you're not in a good state. You're not in a good. I could be in a good state, but I want to go to work.
Yeah, it's confirmed.
But that's not a good excuse the way he's putting it. So
it's confirmed they've resumed finding him.
Yeah, they have.
They've resumed. Yeah,
that's a lot of money. It's like $360 a game.
Mm-hmm.
Some ridiculous number. I mean, just give me one of the paycheck. Go to work for a week and give it to me, and you miss. We can split it. 180 a piece. I'm a tax to get 90. I'm not complaining.
I'm telling you, man. All right, guys. So my closing comments is I'm really happy with where the team is now. But like I told Nabil started talking about top 4 today. Quite a few of the guys on the forum have. I'm staying away from that. I want to officially let you know that Apollo is still on the Europa League ladder. And I am not going to touch that top 4 ladder. If we beat Liverpool or if we draw Liverpool, I might then say that top 4 would be our new target. But right now, the target is to get back into Europe in a top 6 finish. That's where I can see this team at the moment. But if they get a result against Liverpool, that could change. But for now, I'm staying grounded. Yeah? You know how it is, guys. In business, I tell my guys all the time, yeah, you've got to set your standards where you think that they can go, yeah? Under promise, over deliver. That's what I tell all my reps on the road in business. Otherwise, you're getting yourself into trouble. And right now, I can see a section of Arsenal fans that are just opening themselves up to get dunked on. And you don't want to get posterized when it comes to something like that, because we've been there, guys. We've gone to the Etihad. We've gone to Man United. Well, not so much Man United, but we've gone to Liverpool, and we've had 2 5-1 losses, a 4-0 loss. We get battered at Anfield. We don't lose. We just lift up our skirts and bend over. It's not even close. Yeah, we'd get absolutely terrorized when we go to Anfield. So I can't wait to see the game. I'm really excited, and we're going to be doing it live. We're going to be screaming it live. So, Neil Miss, what's your thoughts? Closing comments.
Closing thoughts is love the game, love the fact that we got the 3 points. I'm loving the position that we're in right now. Again, like you, I'm not looking at Champions League. I am firmly I'm not even in the Europa League bandwagon. I'm in the conference. I need anything from 7th and above will make me happy. So that is my bare minimum. Looking forward to, well, maybe not so much looking forward to the next game. If Liverpool had maybe won, then I could talk about complacency from Liverpool. But our next game will be tough. But I am hoping, and this is something that I never had with Arteta, that Arteta will put out a structure, a tactic, and a formation to be able to counteract Liverpool. And maybe West Ham gave us the blueprint to be able to do that. And that, for me, is another positive. So I'm somewhat looking forward to the next game. But yeah, on to the next one.
Can't hear you, Apollo. We've lost sound.
And that means it's officially, again, today, guys, it is official that no team this year will be another Invincibles. Every team in the league has lost one game. So
we got that record.
Yeah, so that's that. 18 says, great stream, guys. D says, Liverpool's going to smoke these boys. Probably. And he says, West Ham have an effective style of play, but know how to cover any deficiencies. Yeah, they do. They've been playing for a very long time, them guys together. And they've got some good guys that they brought on through the academies. G says, as Trump would say, stop the count. Top 6 is fine with me. And he's talking to Nabil. What's your closing comments, Bertram?
So we haven't lost in 10. We're 2 wins off first place. There's a lot. You guys talking about top 4. We're 2 wins off first place, aren't we? I mean, it's a fact. I'm going by stats, so you guys like to quote that.
No. Look at him smiling. No, he's enjoying this. Right? He don't like losing, Bertram don't like losing. Bertram don't like bad teams, man.
We haven't lost in 10. That's what I'm focused on. Keep the run rolling. I know we have some tough games. Like Crystal Palace was tough. Got put out the last minute. Leicester was tough in the second half. We dominated Watford today. Didn't really create much apart from the one mistake we gave them. Right? We've been keeping clean sheets, which is very important. Our defense is now set with support. So we have Tierney to come in. We may have a Chambers or a Holding to come in if we need a backup. You know what I'm saying? I mentioned the Maras of the world. Don't have a really good backup at right back, but that's okay. We're good in terms of the defensive structure. Partey will not be going to Africa for World Cup qualifiers because he has a groin injury. So that's a good thing. They can stay here and rehabilitate and be ready for Liverpool in 2 weeks' time. So we can't say we're in the worst situation. Our team is coming together. They're young, but they're improving. We still do need to have more goal scoring. If we really want to push, look, you should never restrict yourself in terms of what you can achieve. Because if they think the way some people are thinking, then they'll never get to where they need to get to. So we got to think about, you know what? The goal is to win the league. Worst case scenario, top 4, and take it from there. Don't think Conference League or Europa League. Think that, you know what? Top 4 is up for grabs because Leicester is not playing as well as you'd expect them to play. Man U defensively is a shambles, even though they're better than the lower teams because they have the goal scoring. West Ham is very, very good. They're the team to be concerned about. But if they have a few injuries, they're going to struggle.
Yeah, true.
So I do think we have an opportunity to do really, really well. I don't rate Chelsea. They have a lot of talent, but to me, their goal scoring, unless Lukaku comes back, he's not going to be where he needs to be. Man City's in another league, I think, actually, if they get a number 9. And I think that Liverpool will always be Liverpool because offensively, they can be damaging to you and damage your psyche. But defensively, they're also struggling. And I watched today where Van Dijk was playing against, what's his name? The Jamaican player. I can't forget his member's name.
Antonio.
Yeah. And he wasn't dominating Antonio.
Nobody dominates Antonio.
Well, I agree. So I'm encouraged by the team. I'm encouraged by where we are. I get frustrated sometimes with the lack of being able to keep the ball against the better teams and or the goal scoring. But you know what? You can't be happy about everything. So hopefully we maintain what we're doing. Go into the Liverpool game, be confident, but be with abundance of caution. Don't get carried away. Play in the low blocks somewhat. Don't try to express yourself too much. And hit them on the counter like West Ham did today.
Yeah.
And they may want to play more cautious. If you hit them a couple of times, they may, like a boxer, they may want to press more caution and give you more room to maneuver because they try to suffocate you. And West Ham played brilliantly today.
Yeah, they did. Full credit to them. And we're probably going to have Ian back on Friday because he's finished his slot work now. As you know, Ian's an actor, so he's very busy with his theatre work. And we need him to come and big up his team on a Friday. He can't wait. I talked to him today, and he's looking forward to coming on the chat in another couple of weeks. So, guys, that's it from us here today. Arsenal up to 5th. I can't believe it. I'm going to go and stay at the table for another 10 minutes now before I finish watching the highlights of the Grand Prix. I'll speak to you guys in the next one, man. Peace out, everybody.